So you can make a contribution via WhatsApp for now, 081 717 56338. Again, 081 717 56338. Your contribution via WhatsApp, and of course we'll be here to read them while the guest is analyzing. So once again, Barrister Onaniwu, thank you for joining us on the matters.
Thank you very much, Solomon.
So where do we start? What do you think the legacy of Muhammadu Buhari would be, the former president, from your own perspective? What do you think people would remember him for?
Well, Solomon, thank you again for bringing me in here. I believe this is the voice of the people.
Yes, exactly, voice of the
So
people, which
people
means
can talk.
exactly.
And,
Here, the voice of the people counts.
I hope that the people that will be listening are the people that will make the voice count. Now, you asked me a very, very, very important question. The truth of the matter is this: I do not see why there is a holiday for the dead president. Why should the government deprive us of earning a living on Tuesday because of a man that collapsed the economy of Nigeria? What legacy does he have? When he died, Nigeria has become a burial ground where the presidents go to London, enjoy themselves, die, and they come there, they bring them back home to bury. Wouldn't it have been a very fantastic thing that you're hearing that he died in Nigeria in a hospital he built? That hospital in London, couldn't he have put about, in all geographical locations in Nigeria, two of those hospitals? I'm sure Nigeria can afford it. That's the legacy he should have put down before he died. But instead he goes, I read something on the internet that a night in that hospital is £3,000. Throughout his presidency, he was always there. There was a time we heard that the presidential jet was parked there for about a month or two and paying money. Is that the legacy we're supposed to celebrate? Or are we talking about the NSAS where people were killed and nobody till today, we haven't heard anybody has been jailed? Is that a legacy? There's no legacy as far as I'm concerned. The legacy is that he just came at old age, enjoyed the Nigeria's money, and put another government that is almost trying to cripple us, and he's gone. There's no legacy as far as I'm concerned. No legacy.
Some would say you're quite harsh, considering.
Nigeria.
You don't speak ill of the dead.
Which dead? You speak you speak good of the dead when he did good when he was alive. Why should I be pretending as if all is well? Look at where we are today. Is it that hospital in London cannot be replicated in Nigeria? Or they enjoy paying good money to those doctors in London, pay to give them fantastic health care. Then in Nigeria, the doctors are suffering, crying every day, and they refuse to pay them. What legacy are we talking about? Or is it that the facilities cannot be brought here? Was he not the president of Nigeria? So why should I be speaking good about him? What good has he done? I'm suffering from his maladministration. So there's no legacy, my brother. There's no legacy as far as I'm concerned. None.
Now, I mean, I don't even know what to say at this moment in time. When you check the internet, especially on YouTube, the kind of the barrage of insults he has gotten, it's kind of reminded me of what happened when former late president, what happened when he died. What was his name again? That took over from IBB.
Sania Shoneko?
No.
Sani Abacha?
Yes, Sani Abacha, yeah.
Sani Abacha was better.
Yeah, so
Sani Abacha was better as a military man than Buhari.
Because I remember what Nigeria went through then, and then people were really, really happy.
So, look,
people
Solomon,
were really happy when he died.
People were happy because it was he was a military dictator. Everybody was shouting democracy. But look at Sani Abacha. Sani Abacha stabilized the naira. Look, there were barrage of the European countries. They sanctioned us, and we were self-independent. Sani Abacha didn't borrow money. The economy was stable. So I mean,
but when the money he embezzled, I mean, up till now we've probably not even gotten 10% of the money he embezzled.
Sani Abacha embezzled money, and the money is paying back years after. I mean, every day we hear that they repatriate money from somewhere. He kept it. Let's assume he kept it for his for the future. Right now, we have been seeing it was the money he embezzled that helped in completing the second Niger bridge. They are all the same, but his administration was better than Buhari. Look, this is a civilian. Buhari became a civilian president. Much was expected from him. At the point in time we heard that he had won the presidency, people were shouting body language, but his government was the most corrupt, as far as I'm concerned. The most corrupt government we had. Thinking that coming from 1983, when he was the head of state, with his number 2 Ijabon, there was discipline in Nigeria. But President Buhari, there had been a lot of human rights violation when he was alive. Court orders were disobeyed flagrantly. What legacy does he have to put down? Nothing. It's a waste of resources. Bury him with government money. He should have buried himself, or his family buried with the monies they have. Look, there's no legacy, my brother. There is none at all. Except you have one you want to tell me. Somebody will tell you about second Niger bridge. He didn't conceive it. President Jonathan conceived it and would have finished it if he was allowed to complete his tenure. These things, the counterpart funding had been put down. There was an idea not from Buhari. So when you say he finished, of course he could have abandoned it, but abandoned it will even make his legacy worse. Buhari did not do anything as far as I know. The naira skyrocketed from Jonathan left the presidency with 195 naira to $1. Getting at one point it started rising to about 200, 300. But look at where we are now. 1,550. It's crazy. It's crazy. And he put another person that claimed when he was coming in that he will continue Buhari's legacy. I'm sure you remember that. Those slogans. Yeah, we're suffering it. We're suffering it. The apple cannot fall far from the tree.
But one would have expected, would have thought a situation would be different, considering Abacha's time. Abacha was still in power when he died, and of course, when you look at what things are happening then and what's happening now, it's all of a sudden it's not looking like we're in heaven then. But truly, we weren't even in heaven then, because I know we understand it was military era. There were a lot of human rights violations because it's military. People were imprisoned. People died. And it was hell then. But comparatively, that's
Nigeria
the only
had its respect during Abacha. Nigeria had it. But yes, there were. Look, human rights violation is everywhere. Not just in Nigeria, even in America. In America, there's human rights violation. What is human rights violation? Is it until the police beat you up? No. It's everywhere. So when you start talking about human rights violation during Abacha's time, I mean, as a democratic government, look at what is happening in the Senate today. Look at everywhere. Even in a civilian government, there's still human rights violation. A court gives an order for you to release a prisoner, you hold him down. A court gives a... So it's not just peculiar to the military or to Abacha.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, one would expect since we transitioned from military to civilian rule, things would have been better.
Exactly. But look at it.
Became worse. Worse. But some might say the double standard it's obviously glaring, because I mean, for all the evil IBB did, I mean, he's still alive, he's not dead. There are no sanctions against him, there are no hate or barrage of insult against him. Some will say, now on paper we know democracy is the best style of government on paper.
At one point I'm a lawyer by profession, but I'm beginning to rethink that position. Whether
that's why I'm very particular about the word on paper.
Let's look at the United Arab Emirates. It's a kingdom, monarch. Look at the government.
I know. We were good. I know where you arrive at, but let me land. We know on paper, democracy is the best government on paper, but compared to so many other countries, Nigeria didn't have the worst of military leadership. Come to think of it, in Africa, not just in Africa. I mean, we've seen what the military junta is done in Myanmar with people being killed and all that.
Yes.
Yeah. So comparatively, Nigeria didn't have the worst of military leadership. As a matter of fact, comparatively, we actually even have the best of Nigeria during the military leadership in Nigeria.
That's when things happen.
In Nigeria compared to the other part of the world. But where the big bucks start coming in was when IBB got into the presidency, when he succeeded in his coup, and so a lot of historians will say IBB was the one that destroyed Nigeria, because Nigeria went downhill from there. Abacha came in, and some people argue that IBB was worse than Abacha. The only difference was that Abacha was very brazen and very open.
Ruthless.
Was very open with the way he was doing his ruthlessness, while IBB was very, very strategic and very, very intelligent in his ruthlessness. Abacha was very brazen, more like a Donald Trump, doesn't care what anybody think of. He was quite open, and then it went downhill from there. And then we transitioned into democracy, and it's like everything became worse. So some historians will say Nigeria became very, very bad from IBB, and it's never became better from there. Of course, apart from the exception of Yaradua coming in and he stabilized things a little, but then he didn't even stay in office long enough for us to see what his tenure would have been at the end of the day, And then, but IBB is still around. They still honor him every day, They still invite him to, fora. He still walks around with no insult, and nobody. People seem to forget just how bad it was during his presidency. So people might say that it's a double standard. Why the insult, on Buhari?
IBB spent I think 8 years in government, so it's as if he did 2 tenures in like a democratic government. So probably he doesn't have an opportunity to seek election again. And then it's been since 1985, until 1993 he left power, and so a lot of people are still recovering from the present damage that has been done to them, to start thinking about
the far back of Babangida.
Look at a lot of young people demonstrating and doing NSAS today were not born when Buhari was in power. So they do not really understand what happened during that time. It was during the time of Babangida that we had SAP, we had
that's a structural adjustment program.
That was when the value of the naira started devaluing, But for me, Babangida can be termed as, the proverbial rat, that when the rat is biting you, it blows you breathe. So you do not really feel the bite. Babangida, according to what I was very much old enough to know that Babangida his government was corrupt, very corrupt. I remember the case of this drug dealer, this lady, that the press at that time, Delegiwa, said that Babangida used to courier drugs. And then the infamous police officer, the former commissioner of the former governor of Rivers State. These things all happened during that period. But as bad as it was, people were still managing. Fast forward to Buhari. Buhari knew nothing. He just wanted to be the president of Nigeria. He didn't have a plan. The people that packaged him just pushed him there so that they could siphon government money through him. He didn't have a plan. Like I asked you a question. How can a president, it's a shame that a former president of Nigeria will go to a hospital. Look, there should be a law that no president should go outside the country to take medical. Yes.
Will that happen when we have a rubber stamp National Assembly every dispensation?
No, but that president who goes out to take medical care is wicked. There should be no reason, because where are you going? You are the head of the country, for God's sake. You should be able to fix it. Look, in Aso Rock, the hospitals, the clinic is a mess. But every time there's budget for that.
Millions of naira.
Billions, not millions. Billions. Budgeted. Now, a president, and you are bringing him back from London to bury him here. He had 8 years to do the magic. If that was the only legacy he would have put down, believe me, people will not be. Look, can you just check the internet? No, most people are saying rubbish about him.
And the worst
it's a
part,
shame.
The worst part of it is it's easy for you to say to those in the southerners that are insulting. I mean, we have the same reaction
in the
north. Yeah.
I was looking at the social media, and they were singing happy. I don't know how true this young man in Burkina Faso is doing, but they say he's doing wonders under 3 years. 3 years. I don't know how true that is. I don't know whether it's social media sensation.
I mean, it depends on who you ask. Personally, I think it's a social media sensation. But I mean, on the other part of it, I mean, it couldn't do worse than what the previous government did.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. So if this man had taken that project as his only achievement, let people know me for healthcare only. So everywhere he goes, he brings the best and makes a law. Nobody should go for medical tourism. I think things will be happening better. But look at him. He went to a clinic in London. A clinic. Shore, I read his post that he was spending £3,000 a day. £3,000 a day. Yet the doctors in Nigeria are crying. All of them are running away. The last I heard was that the government is trying to stop the doctors from leaving. So, if the president himself could not do these things, is he not why should we celebrate him?
And then to buttress your point, former presidential aide spokesman Femi Adesina said that the former president could have been long dead if he had used Nigerian hospitals.
He should be arrested for that. He should be arrested. I know him personally. He should be arrested. He should, for saying that. He was a presidential aide. He also was going abroad to take medicine.
And he said, said those who criticize the death of Buhari in a London hospital should understand that the former president had always used London hospitals because he was elected president in May 2015. He said the UK doctors were already familiar with the Buhari's medical history, and there was no need to change them. Is that valid enough?
You see, those are the people destroying Nigeria.
And to now even say what you want, he also said some Nigerian hospitals lacked the facilities and expertise needed to treat the ex-president, which means if, as you said before, if he had invested money,
would have been his project to make sure those facilities in that clinic is brought down to Nigeria. Our doctors are trained superlatively that they will have that expertise. Expertise are not gotten from heaven.
And if you also, realize the fact that Nigerian doctors are sought after in other parts of the world.
With the little facility they have here, they perform magic.
And we are not even talking about doctors that were trained abroad. We're talking about doctors that were trained here.
That's what I'm saying. With the little facility, they are doing magic here. With the oh my God.
When they are faced in the hospital with the best facilities, you can imagine what they will do.
Now you look at a presidential. These people should be ostracized from Nigeria. These are wicked people, very wicked people, because they can afford it. And then yet, after destroying Nigeria, he is giving a hero's welcome. They should be ostracized. Their name should be removed as Nigerians. Maybe they should go and join Togo or Niger.
Another thing I want to talk about is for all the backlash that Buhari and the APC government, are having. I think the PDP should have a whole lot of blame because they were the one that ushered us into the civilian government.
PDP didn't usher anybody into civilian government.
No, they did. I mean, with Olusegun Obasanjo being president.
The military brought in the PDP, not PDP ushering us. There was no PDP as of 1998.
Well, either way, the first president that came into civilian was PDP, and for 16 years, they plunged Nigeria into
a pit that we can't come out from.
Exactly.
But what's the difference?
Now, I'm coming. Which was why it was easy for APC and Buhari to sell the change mantra. Because I mean, we may have forgotten now because of just how bad things were. Things were terrible under Jonathan. Things were thank God, at least thank God for we the media and where we have to remind people because of the ever changing world, and because of how quick the news cycle is. Something happened yesterday and something happens today, and we all forget what happened yesterday, and we're focused on what's happening today. If I remember correctly, a bag of rice went from 3,000 naira to 11,000 naira during Jonathan. That was a huge difference. Things were really bad, which was why it was, as I said before, it was easy for people to believe the APC propaganda that there will be change. It just all of a sudden, the reason why people are now lifting Jonathan, making it look like a god now, is because people did never in their wildest imagination think things will ever get 1,000 times worse.
No, but Solomon, who are the people in PDP and who are the people in APC?
I mean, they're basically the same people.
So what are we saying? It's just nomenclature. They're the same people. Now they've gone to ADC. Who are the people in ADC? People that were in PDP, people that were in APC. It's the same cycle. I mean, David Mark was in PDP. He's still back. And Amechi was in APC. He was in PDP, APC. They're the same people. Look, people that do not have fear of God are the people. Forget all this APC, PDP, and whatever. Forget them. Was the president, this our president today, was he not shouting about deregulation at the time of Jonathan? Did he not lead a protest that the government should not remove subsidy? Did he not do that? What are we seeing today?
And that was exactly the first thing he did when he came into the presidency.
Was this same president not talking about human rights violation? Was he not?
Joined the military, actually.
So what are we saying? They're the same old people. They are the same people. We should not forget whether PDP, APC, they are the same gang. But all of them are the same gang. I use the word gang in a negative manner, gang. They are out to destroy Nigeria. Because how can somebody come out and tell you that the government should in fact, they almost removed Jonathan. In fact, that was even the basis of Jonathan's removal. He intended to remove the subsidy. Wale Soyinka was on that trail. The current president was there. A lot of them. What are we doing today? Where are we today? Why is the price of rice 100 and something thousand? It is simply because fuel has been deregulated. That's the reason. Because
of course the floating of the naira too.
Forget the floating of the naira. When the cost of fuel skyrocketed with 1,000%, how do you think the bag of rice can still be 11,000 naira? How? I mean, we don't use dollar to plant rice, except for those people importing. Buhari came and said he came to do rice revolution. Farmers, everybody, where are they? Then look at the insecurity. Yes, somebody will say this presidency did not start insecurity. What happened in Buhari's time? You see, even in my village in Imo State, Ikeduru, you see herdsmen destroying people's farms. You try to deal with them, the police arrest you. I don't want to talk about the recent judgment of the Supreme Court in Jackson's case, where the man that self-defended himself was sentenced to death by hanging. Meanwhile, the guy, the headsman, was about to kill him. So you see all these things and you begin to wonder, where are we in Nigeria? Where is the hope of Nigeria? Now we are hopeless. We are totally hopeless. I tell you. Every day, sometimes you hear that money has been budgeted to give people aids. Is it dashing people money? All these things that the government say they are trying to help the poorest of the poor. Does that make sense to us? How do you know these people? Where do you? What is the
what is the parameter?
Where are the documents to prove that somebody collected this money? People are just eating everything, and then we are just here wallowing like a sheep, like sheep without shepherd. That's how we are in Nigeria. So for Buhari, no legacy. No, let's not even talk about. Like I told you, I don't know why we're on holiday today. If it was
he's a former president. So.
How many have they done that way? How many? I mean, you do things for people that have shown humanity. Some people that have done good for the nation. People that you can see through them that they tried their best. I just gave you an instance. Healthcare. He died in a London hospital. It is a shame. A shame, big shame.
So, I've read quite a number of the condolences, and
of course, condolence must come. Those are normal.
And one thing that is very common with all the persons that have been, condoling with him, keep saying the fact that he was a very honest person.
I stand to argue.
You don't agree?
Yes, I don't agree.
How so? Why?
You see, when the head is rotten, the other part of the body is obviously rotten. How can he be an honest man and let's assume he's the head, then the whole from the neck down is rotten, and he's the head? Really? Did he not see that there is no hospital that is functioning in Nigeria? Did he not see it? Did he not see it? Did he not? Was he not the Minister of Petroleum? Are you not seeing what's happening in NNPC? Did you not read the report of NNPC that the Senate is investigating now? Did that thing happen today? Was he not the Minister of Petroleum? What are we saying? Let's call a spade, and let's not deceive ourselves. Honest in what way? In what way? I have never seen a president in Nigeria that had been jailed. We see it, we hear it around the country. In Egypt, we heard that the president was jailed in Egypt for corruption. We've heard. Why can't that happen in Nigeria? Let them open the books.
Which bring me to the earlier point that with all the backlash is having. I mean, we still have IBB working freely.
They cover themselves. They cover themselves. Before a man becomes president, he goes around to former past presidents and they hobnob. Will you now enter the government and start investigating past presidents? Is that the work you're coming to do? Well, meanwhile, you pay them salaries every month. Like I just told you now that there's a report I read that the man was in a hospital paying £3,000 every day. If that man destroyed Nigeria, look, £3,000 is still destroying Nigerians every day. So, when you say honest, I don't know about honesty. I don't know whether a president signs checks. He doesn't sign checks. But he gives approval. In fact, what are we saying? What are we saying?
Now, there's another thing that is dead as cost. It has ignited conspiracy theory again.
The Jibrin issue.
Yeah, the Jibrin issue. When we after he came back from London from that long hospital trip. The first time.
Where he parked the Nigerian presidential jet in an airport in the UK or somewhere where they were paying money every day for about 3 months.
Yeah. And then, of course, the news we heard then was he's dead, and that wanted to become a repeat of the Yaradua situation. And then, of course, he came back, and
they said he was a clone.
Yes, and then the news that he's a clone. That is this Buhari we're seeing is not the old one. Is a new one, Jibril from Sudan. Do you believe in that conspiracy? No, because these dead have actually reignited, because we still have many many people saying that, well, Buhari died a long time ago. And of course, it doesn't help with the fact that there's a saying all over the world that once you become a public figure, there'll be nothing private about you anymore. And most public figures tend to live with that theory, so they try to make everything in their life open, from popular business entrepreneurs to president to celebrity. They usually keep the public abreast with the latest happenings in their private life. But in Nigeria, that don't seem to be the case, especially among politicians, where they shroud everything in secrecy, and that's help fuel conspiracy theory, because nobody embodied that secrecy more than Buhari. Throughout his government, they tend to keep Nigerians guessing, and because of that, lots of conspiracy theory springs up about him.
Let me tell you something, Solomon. It's all these things we hear. It's a strategy by the government. All this, you'll be surprised to know that Jibrin may have been a strategy from the government to make us forget a lot of things and start arguing of whether Buhari is alive or not, or whether he's dead. That may be their strategy.
I mean, Garba Shehu said the same thing a few days ago when you remember the issue of rats invading Asu Rock Villa.
Exactly.
He came out and clarified,
so that the problems or the agitation
as a distraction,
exactly,
to distract Nigerians from how severe Buhari's health issue was.
That's what I'm saying. I don't believe.
So you think that Jibrin conspiracy was formulated to distract Nigerians too?
Yeah, that's part of it. I think Buhari. This is the Buhari that has always been Buhari.
No, but when you also realize this information first come from IPOB, right? You know, Nnamdi Kanu first speculated it, and of course they came out and say, well, do you see what we're talking about? This is just why is it that he now died all of a sudden 2 years after leaving office? Why didn't he wait till 5 years before dying?
So they should answer the question. The man is an old man, 82 or 83.
82.
If he died at 82, he didn't die early.
Yeah.
Some people have died at 60. My dad died at 69. We've had several deaths. So whether he couldn't have been, he's the same president. That's just a joke, and that's a distraction. I believe so, and just to create. Well, if, like I told you, it could have been created from the presidency. Look, there are people that are hired in the presidency to do different jobs. There are hackers in the presidency. If somebody hacks, you will say it's a bad thing, but it is used for good. Sometimes. You know, I remember when I was in the US some time ago, and they applied. There was an opening for hackers. For hackers, I mean, that's hacking to your phone, hacking to those things. They use those things as, you know,
national intelligence, national security, and which is why it still baffles everyone why they've been able to deal with the high surge of insecurity in Nigeria if we have these people in government.
Well, that's a question. That's a very good question. You know. No.
And of course, which also brings the theory that, of course, it's no longer a theory, because several government officials have come out to say the same thing, that there are people in the government that are assisting this insecurity.
But I mean, is it new? Don't we hear that the American government support the Taliban in Afghanistan? The Taliban they fought against for 20 years, they still installed them. I mean, these things happen. Those people, this insecurity can end. We know that it can end today.
If they really wanted to end it.
So I believe it is being used, in my opinion, to check and balance some, to see how they will balance the books.
Anyway, let's not go off course.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, Jibrin or whoever it is was just a. It was just a joke.
To you, it's just a joke. It's not something to be taken seriously.
The man just died. He just died, and he's good. But he left no legacy.
So for all his faults, for all his which were many apparently, which would you say is the darkest of his time in presidency? Which would you say is the darkest?
Solomon. That question is, you shouldn't, all right, all.
Wow.
All. Because I cannot sit down here to say that this man did anything good for me.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even want to even ask you any question of if I mean it can't be 100% bad. There should be one or two good
But
things
I'm
down.
thinking, so-
But obviously you don't think he ever did anything
I
good.
read Reno Mockery. He was talking about the second Niger Bridge. There's the first Niger Bridge.
Yes.
It was still people who were passing it. So that you had an additional bridge. That's what I'm supposed to say. He did very good. Really. I beg, Solomon. Let's move on. The guy did not do anything. He and God will settle themselves whenever they meet, because everybody keeps saying God. God has done his own. It is for us men to do ours. If we sit down as men and kill ourselves and punish ourselves, and how difficult is it for everybody in Nigeria should live above poverty line? The resources are so much, but people get into government, they make so much promises, and then they get there and they derail.
Okay, before we go to the next topic for discussion, let me quickly read some of the messages we have here before. Good morning, VOP. If Obi, okay, I'm not reading anything about Obi an article today. That's not what we're talking about today. Good afternoon to you in the studio. My name is Caesar from Alagbado. Let a spade be called a spade. Buhari remains the worst president Nigeria ever produced. He was not a leader, but loved to rule. He wasted so many lives, but I leave it to God to judge him.
That's the
Death remains the best teacher to living beings. Thanks.
Everybody will die, so death cannot be a teacher.
Good afternoon, Solomon. I respect the late President Muhammadu Buhari. I will remember him for not interfering in any election in the country during his, and may he so rest in peace. As for President Paul Biya of Cameroon, it is clear that the man will eventually die on the throne with what I'm seeing. Message from OJ Yusuf from Adamo in Ikorodu. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon and guest. I agree totally with your guest. Solo, you mean we should be praising Hitler and other evil leaders because you shouldn't speak ill of the dead? Buhari was a failure as a leader and left only a negative legacy of bigotry, killings and disunity, pain and suffering. You cannot hide it. Afam from Ejibo. Thank you very much, Afam. Good afternoon, Solomon. To take it that whereas it appears quite aberrant to speak ill of the dead, or so it seems, object evaluation of what Buhari did while alive determines the kind of legacy you have after him. There are legacies of pain, suffering, economic downturn, ruined future of the masses and lost lives. Biblically speaking, Ahab still has after his profile the man after who led Israel to sin. So judge for yourself. Good afternoon. I'm Softy from Agboju, opposite Festac. Babangida did nothing himself, but through the strategies of the whites who don't want to see Africa succeed. Our leaders would have done better if they have not welcomed foreign thought. Our leaders are not devil in human body, not sorry to say. Our leaders are now devil, in human body, not sorry to say. Why fly abroad and leave the people with general hospital you don't believe in? Okay. Good afternoon, Solomon. Ex-President Buhari left no positive legacy at all. The legacy, quite a number of the messages tend to agree with you. Not surprising there. The legacy he left were massive hunger, suffering, unbearable hardship, no regards for rule of law, slaughtering of young boys in Southeast, kidnapping of Kalu from Kenya, killing of innocent Nigeria during NSAS protests, encouragement of Fulanis to slaughter innocent villagers and occupy their ancestral homes, and more. He has gone to his creator to give account of all the atrocities he did in Nigeria. A lot of messages are coming in there.
And you'll be surprised that they will create one statue they'll build one statue somewhere and utilize him.
That message is from Chude from Ayeturu. Thank you so much, Chude. Good afternoon, Solomon, and your guests in the studio. Solomon Asika from Mushin. Late President Buhari's phantom death, illusion of conspiracy since 2017 has been an enigma of his former spokesman, now telling us that he made up the story of the rat in Aso Rock, and his wife now asking for forgiveness to Nigerians on behalf of her husband, the same wife whom left her husband and ran to Dubai, living separately there. In fact, we have seen the part 1, which started 2017. The part 2 is 2025, is burial, and the part 3 is when the hidden truths start manifesting itself, like the story of the rats. Okay, Mary from Okeafa, Buhari should not expect his soul rest him. Kilode. Because of during his reign, Fulani herders began to carry guns and kill innocent farmers and communities. Emefiele is in prison because of his loot. I'm sure he will meet Abacha there and explain to him what he did with Abacha's loot. He said Nigerians are lazy, but he spent 6 years in the hospital. He lavished Nigerian money on Niger instead of Nigeria. He enjoyed the best hospitals in London but couldn't provide paracetamol to Nigerian hospital. God judge him according to his deed. A lot of these messages are harsh.
If you do well, Solomon, people will praise you.
Now I'm even afraid to take phone calls because
Don't take the calls.
we are going to hear some things that NBC is going to sanction us for.
Unfortunately, NBC people at the head of affairs of NBC should be also take. Why are they sanctioning the truth?
Okay, let's quickly take a look at the second topic for our discussion, where Cameroon's President Paul Biya on Sunday said he will be seeking an 8th term in office in October, his election, in a bid to extend his nearly 43 years in power. Biya, age 92. I mean, 92 for crying out loud.
You should thank God for longevity.
Damn.
I don't know what people think. You are old. You don't need anything. Why can't you just step aside?
It's leaders like these in Africa that are given democracy a bad name, and then all of a sudden people are now rejoicing whenever there's a military takeover. Why won't there be when we have leaders like this in Africa? And then I personally don't want to join voices with people that think all the problems in Nigerians are international communities. I don't want to join people to think all the problems in Nigeria is coming from US and Britain, because it is our African greed that these international communities are tapping from. It is the African leaders' greed that Britain, UK, France are tapping from.
I have told you that these things are concocted from the presidency to give excuses. There's a way they give out small information to some media people who start hyping it, not knowing that those information came from the presidency. Now let me ask you: is it the UK government that told Buhari not to build hospitals in all the geographical locations?
Or told Paul Biya to contest
the fifth,
eighth president.
I'm sure he's on wheelchair.
He is.
So the last I saw him was
92.
I saw him with the French president at one point. Look at the age difference. Is he not ashamed of himself? 8th president. What are you doing there? Okay, you as a president, you've served 8 terms, and you look at the whole country. What have you done? What have you done?
And that's why I few years ago, when we started having unconstitutional takeover in a lot of these African countries, and of course,
what is unconstitutional takeover?
I mean, coup d'etats and stuff like that, and that also started raising questions of, why can't Africa do the kind of democracy that is done all over the world? Why does our democracy have to do with authoritarian, the skewed democracies twin younger brother from the village? Why do we have to experience those kind of democracy?
You see, until we become ourselves. When I mean ourselves, you see, democracy,
it doesn't have to take a particular form all over.
Every government or every country or continent should rule themselves the way
that peculiarity. Yes. That peculiarity.
You see, the British colonized us. Do they practice democracy?
They do, but it's different. But different kind of democracy.
Commander in chief of the armed forces in the UK? Who?
I mean, that's why it's what do I call it? It's constitutional monarchy.
What's constitutional monarchy?
Yeah, it's constitutional.
About it.
The monarchy is practically there. It's practically a figurehead. It has no power.
Who told you? Who do you think the prime minister can declare war?
Yes, he can.
He can't. He has to go to the king, and the king will sign up.
On paper, what we hear is you just have to inform the king.
He doesn't just have to inform.
The king has really little or no say about what happens.
He doesn't have to inform. The king owns that country.
Okay. So what do you think is going on there?
So if you tell me that every time they have a meeting, the prime minister runs to the palace and gives briefing to the king, and you tell me that's democracy, are you telling me the king cannot tell him, no, you can't go that way, or I have interest in there, or this thing, don't move this way? Look, these things we should do how we should practice the way that will please.
In other words, you're proposing a democracy that suits African style.
Why do we even want to call it democracy?
Okay, it doesn't have to be democracy.
We don't have to call it that. We can, because you see, this democracy is becoming worse than military government. I mean, what's the difference? If there was a military...
I mean, originally, I wouldn't have agreed with you until... I mean, but if you see what's happening in the US right now...
Exactly what I'm saying.
I'm beginning to even have a rethink about it too.
I just wanted... I remember I was going to talk about the UAE. It's a monarchical government.
Yes.
Look at that place. Look at the...
It's not just UAE. I mean, the Gulf states generally.
Know, even Qatar. Yeah. Look at the UAE. Look, we said they said we're the fifth largest oil producer. Fifth. Who is the number one? Who is number two? Who is number three? Who is number four? We are number five. Look at us. All those people that
the gap is quite different.
It is humongous. All the people that produce oil most of them are monarchical, but their streets are shining in gold. They don't have to go to National Assembly to say we want to do this. All he does is visualize it and it is done. Those are people that have sense. Now we are practicing democracy. Even at that democracy, a court gives an order. It is flouted. The court is the third arm of government. It is flouted.
On paper, it's supposed to be an equal arm to the executive and the legislature.
We should believe that once a court says it is this, it is that. Then the courts have been infiltrated because their funds come from the executive. So
I mean, you know better than us. You're a legal practitioner after all.
So what is democracy in this? What are the people actually talking? That's why I said this is voice of the people now. In this democracy, are the people talking? Are the people being heard? Is the will of the people done? So those days when Amadioha used to walk, when you steal money, thunder will strike you down. I think that's better democracy. Thunder will strike you down immediately. Then when you don't fix when you don't fix hospital and go to London, thunder will strike you down there. That you are wicked. I think that's better. But you come here, you appropriate funds. No, but they tell you that they expended XYZ amount of money somewhere. That it was appropriated. How do you know? When Buhari was in power, I remember there was trader money. There was something they called trader money. For God's sakes, how do we follow all those things? Who are the traders that were giving money? There's a time they were investigating the vice president of 90 billion. During that election, I'm sure you heard that. Why did they start investigating him? Who started investigating him? Police. Now, in this country now, do you think the police can investigate the Attorney General? Do you think so? Do you think the police is brave enough to investigate? So, when you start talking about democracy in this country, I think it's a farce.
I mean, in the continent as a whole, not just in Nigeria, actually.
So a Paul Biya, how come he is winning? Do you think the people are talking? I'm sure those people have been stifled. They can't talk. He has taken possession. He has guarded. He has everybody in his pocket. Is that the democracy we are talking about? Now, if he has ruled for 43 years, I mean, that means he has ruled almost longer than the the king in UAE, I'm sure. But compare the two. Compare the two. Why do they still have this? The country, look at Cameroonians. Look at them. So sometimes when you look at, I'm going to go to Traore now. He's a young man. He's 34. I'm sure there are colonels in the army there. I don't know how he's succeeding. Does he salute those people? Because right now it's not a democracy.
No, definitely not.
Do you understand what I'm saying? There's seniority in the army. So are you saying those military guys still salute him when they see him because he's the president? That won't happen here. That will not happen here. So what I'm saying is, when you talk about this democracy, I'm beginning to get, edgy about it. I think the word democracy is used to cheat people. That democracy, they are using it to cheat the people.
I mean, we've not had the best of democracy, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa. So when you start hearing people talking like this, you won't exactly blame them.
No, let's talk about Nigeria. Obasanjo, during Obasanjo, $16 billion was purportedly spent on electricity. We don't have. And the man is working. The vice president the same vice president is trying to become president. He has not justified the $16 billion, and we're talking. You say it's democracy. What should democracy have done? Arrest the man, charge him to court. But no. And some people will still vote for the guy.
Oh, the way. I mean, it has massive followership. Apparently, it does.
Do you understand?
So what does that tell us? What does that tell us as a people?
No. So listen, sir.
Because I think we as a people were quite complicit. We have complicits about.
Was it not yesterday? Traore again was saying he's building some new prisons, and anybody that steals one kobo will go in for it. Now, if it was a sincere military government, that 16 billion, the man that stole that 16 billion will go down, or they'll shoot him. Now, somebody will say, no, you should try him. Try him, he may be innocent. Under your watch, $16 billion. You want him to go to court so that he use that 16 billion to keep elongating the matter every day till he dies? So, when you look at these things, democracy, judiciary, legislature, who will rubber stamp everything, a president that wants to, you just find out that all those things are skewed towards cheating the masses. Okay. That's my position.
Okay, if you're just tuning in, this is Matters on Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and of course we are following the proceedings of the burial of late President Muhammadu Buhari, who died in London, UK. That was on Sunday. And yes, I have more messages here. I even have some following us on our live broadcast here on YouTube. Good afternoon. I think one day public holiday won't be enough. We really suffered for him. Really suffered for that man. And in other words, we need 10 months of public holiday for us to rest from all this suffering. That is coming from Taufik Olaya.
That's the masses. Those are the people that we should be hearing from, not some Shehu Gaba. In the presidency that is talking about rats.
Okay, good afternoon, VOP. If Buhari have established a standard hospital in Nigeria, they would not have flown him to London for treatment. Truly, our leaders are corrupt and wicked. I learned that the hospital have Nigerians as medical doctors. Yes! What a shame to our leaders. Ima from Isolo. Wow.
That's what I'm telling you. The man that is the doctor that is working there, you will be surprised how much he's earning there. Then you bring him to Nigeria, you can't pay. Sometimes they're on strike because of paltry money you pay them.
Solo, Buhari was a demon of our century. Udom. Mr. Sol, I was born in 1983 in Cameroon. As I was growing up, I saw Paul Biya as my president. Till date, he's a president. Now, wow. Mr. Sol, okay, yeah, he sent the same message twice. I'm not happy because Buhari died too late. He could have lived around 2016 when he started destroying his country. Me, Jay from Egbeda. I'm not sure how I don't understand that message. But
no, he's saying that he died because if he had short-lived, it wouldn't be this bad.
Bad.
That's what she's trying to say.
Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon and the guest. Chimeziem from Ijeshatedo. The death of former President Buhari should be a wake-up call and a message to every politicians and everyone that one day you will give accounts of what do you expect the people who lost their loved ones during the Lekki toll gate shootout to say about the death of a man that gave the order. One day, me as a person will die and go. What will I be remembered for? As humans, if I want to rest in peace, we must learn to live our lives in peace. So please don't blame anyone speaking bad about him. Thank you and good afternoon. You still don't believe death is enough.
Death is an inevitable end. So it's not a punishment. That is not a punishment.
Good afternoon. I completely agree with your guest. We need to have a system of government that suits our culture, like hereditary monarchy. Shegun from Alagbado. Hereditary monarchy, I don't think that's what you're talking about, because because if one family is now controlling the whole country, I mean,
but you are seeing it in some place and it's working. You want to go there.
Yeah, but you can also say the same thing about democracy working for a lot of other countries too.
Where?
Well, in France, in Germany, in South Korea, it is working for them.
South Korea is
South Korea is a democratic country. Good afternoon. Okay, I've read these. Good afternoon, VOP. Buhari died in a London hospital. When was he flown abroad? How long was he sick? A lot of secret gives room for speculation. When King Charles and Biden was sick, we got updates on the daily basis. We need a genuine change in this country. I mean, it's what is what I'm talking about. When you don't give updates of what's happening, I mean, conspiracy theories about to happen. As Paul Biya of Cameroon, do they have educated people in that country? It's no longer democracy, but civilian madness. Ancelot Anebunwa from Alagbado.
You know, when you've caged the economy of the country, you are the richest man in the country. The judiciary is under your armpit. The military is under your, maybe
the executive is under, the legislature is under your.
Maybe his son is the chief of. You know, these guys, they will just put your son as chief of army staff or chief of whatever. They'll put one.
People will be afraid to talk.
You can't talk because once they will take you out immediately. So those kind of, and that's the democracy you're talking about.
Good afternoon, Solomon. I am not defending the former president, neither am his fans. You see, when somebody don't like person, no manner of things should be thrown at the person. The person from Sudan, we are all are saying is a destruction. Was IPOP that came up with the story? I don't understand the grammar. How is it a distraction from the government? Then please, let's be factual in our analysis. This is what you get when you don't like somebody. Honestly, I think your guest here is biased, and let the rest die. Please, Daniel from Oshodi. Okay, well, it's good. It's good to have opinion. Exactly.
But what I just said is they might have used that one to remove our minds from the things that are happening in the country. I mean, I don't believe that there was
No, continue.
I don't believe that there was a Sudan guy. I don't believe that story. I think that was the distraction. Because if you remember when they brought up this issue of somebody from Sudan, it took over the whole country. People were saying, Buhari is not alive. Buhari was that the issue in the country? The issue in the country was hardship, hunger, human rights violation. Now they were talking about a dead man. Is that not a distraction?
Good day, Mr. Solomon and the guest. Buhari as Nigeria president was a disaster. I failed in all ramifications, but I disagree with you on how much bag of rice was sold during former President Jonathan. During Jonathan's era, a bag of rice was between 7,005 and 8,000, not 11, as you claim. Why Buhari time was between, but the thing still went from 3,000 to whatever the figure you want to say, it was still bad nonetheless. Between 7,005 and 8,000, why Buhari time between 30,000 and 50,000. Please take notes to avoid misinformation. What's the difference? From 3,000 to 7,005 was still a huge difference.
No, that difference could have been
it was
mitigated.
The point I'm making is that you met bag of rice at 3,000 naira. It would still be a bad thing for you to maintain that 3,000 or maybe even 4,000 naira. The point I'm making is,
there was an increase.
Exactly. See, because I remember I was on TV during Buhari's during Jonathan's time.
Okay.
And well documented as a journalist, as a media, Jonathan was really criticized. He was criticized.
The most.
The economy was bad. The only reason why all of a sudden Jonathan is a god now is because Buhari's time turned out to be even 1,000 times worse. That's the point I'm saying.
The GDP of Nigeria after Jonathan, during Jonathan was number one. When Nigeria was number one, but now we are number five.
Now, the reason why APC campaign resonated with a lot of people.
There were a lot of lies.
A lot of people was because people thought there would be change. Nobody thought the change would come for the worse instead of the better.
People did not think there would be change because we knew that they were the same crop. They are the same old people. You know, I get this. Okay, let me, with due respect to this very, very noble gentleman, Professor Walushewik. He marched along Tinubu at the time when they said Jonathan should not remove subsidy. Where is he now?
Anyway, more messages from our live broadcast on YouTube. Analyst James hasn't been to the UK. The king cannot overrule parliament.
I didn't say overrule. I said they cannot declare war without the king in the UK.
Okay.
The UK will not declare war. Let him tell me where. So
Okay.
the king.
Let me pick one or two calls before we go. Let's not be that not allowing people to talk.
Okay.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on the show. Now that I decided to pick on now, okay, we have another one on WhatsApp. Let me pick the one we have on WhatsApp. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. We're losing. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon, sir. Hello, I can hear you.
Evening. Good afternoon, Solomon.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Thank you for joining us on the show today.
Okay, this is Daniel from Oshodi.
Daniel from I read your message earlier on.
Number one. The president truly we saying Sudan or people coming up with different stories.
The Jibrin of Sudan story, right?
Is a Jibrin for one Sudan. I think to me it was not the government that would bring that kind of distraction.
Okay.
We all knew where it was coming from. It was from IPOP. This is I'm an Igbo person. It's from IPOP. So I would not want to toe that line. And then for the president, for the infrastructure that he has been doing, according to them,
where are you?
Well, at least for him,
where are you? We're having.
But please, let the dead rest. He is gone, has gone. We shouldn't be saying all these things. Yes, nobody supporting what
he's resting. He's resting while we are suffering.
Let the dead rest. Thank you.
He's resting. We are still suffering.
He ran away immediately. He didn't want it to be tackling. Okay, let me pick one more message. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. You have to call us back. Network is bad. Sorry about that. Okay, let me read more messages here. Okay. Simon Ochuba, my brothers in the studio, I think the best way to bury Buhari is for the message to voters about it. As for me, is for the masses to vote about it. As for me, this man doesn't deserve any federal burial recognition because he brought Nigeria under Jonathan when they told people in their secret campaign that if Jonathan rules for another 4 years, that they will start selling some of their children to feed.
Yes, it was happening.
Okay, children to feed others. He brought Nigeria from
That was the propaganda.
From height 70% down to 40%, and Tinubu's today flat is so 20%. Okay.
Were they not the one that I don't know whether it's true? You're a journalist. When they said the RFI decided to bring in the bandits or to disrupt
Jonathan's government. We heard it.
It was in the media space.
Yeah, it
was
was.
That not in cahoot with the president that benefited from it.
Okay, let's pick more calls from this time from WhatsApp. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Tell us your name and where you're calling from, please.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. We can hear you. Your name, where you calling from?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. My name is Robert.
Okay. Robert calling from?
What I will say is that for me, I don't think I have the power to say somebody's soul should rest in peace or not. What I believe is that if somebody's soul will rest in peace, it's not until when that person died. It is determined here on earth. If you do good, you know for yourself that when you die, your soul will rest in peace. If you do bad, it will be the other way around.
Okay, thank you.
Understand? That is my own belief as a human being.
Thank you.
So today now, if you go to the internet, many people are not wishing this president where that is social. So it's not like Yaradua. So if you have power, manage it well, though, because you are not going to live forever.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for calling. We have another one. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, yeah, no more calls. Let me read some of the messages I have. Let's see, because we have to round up any moment from now. Buhari's government, okay, Paul Biya and Museveni just made many of us to hate democracy, but the West democracy is a good form of government. John from Ijaniki. Buhari's government was one of the worst. What a shame for his spouse to be leaving London airport to Katsina airport instead of from Abuja airport to Katsina airport. John from Ijaniki. Thank you very much, John. Transparency is the key to good leadership. Traore from Burkina Faso is doing well. Okay. I sympathize with the family of Buhari. I pray God is his infinite justice will judge him according to his deeds. May he reap what he has sown. Lambs. Thank you very much, Lambs. Good afternoon, Mr. Solomon and guest. Buhari spokesperson told Nigerians about the rats that invaded the office of president. Please let him tell us what happened to the snake and monkey that swallowed Mourners during their time. Kenneth from NNPC Ejigbo, Lagos. Okay. Good afternoon, Solomon. Read my message. Well, your message has to be short like everyone else. By the time you start sending me this epistle, exactly, I will cut it. Learn to send short messages.
Pardon him.
So good afternoon, crew. You can see with the death of the former ruler Buhari, you can see all the public holiday declaration by this government. Senate suspends their plenary by 1 week. Flag fly at half-mast and other eye services and hypocrisy move of this government. 200 were killed in Benue massacre. More than 500 died in Niger flood. Thousands displaced. More than 40 army killed in their bases in Borno. In their more than 100 farmers killed in Nigeria since this government came into power. More than 1,000 people killed due to insecurity in the country. Highest out of school in the world. IDP 7.2 private and public masses shut down and turned the people to beggars and majorities in the midst of plenty due to obnoxious policies that this government non-regards was given to the people by this government, but the elite and their corrupt cronies. It's a shame the worst of us is ruling the best of us. This Lekon from Lagos. Lekon, please send short messages. All these long messages that is killing my top line.
His message is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, with all the people dead, there's no public holiday, there's no mass flight, at half mass for them.
No national burial for people, farmers that give us food. Look at the other time, some people were burnt. What did we? I'm sure we've forgotten it.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about it. There was no 7 days holiday.
Ogasola, I totally disagree with you. Compare Nigeria GDP and then to how living average Nigerians is. Just that EPC came with propaganda
and lies.
Okay. Let's see. Well, let's agree to disagree because I remember where people were shouting and crying, but people forget because things have become worse now. It's just like when the devil comes and then even a worse devil now comes. All of a sudden, the other devil now become a better devil.
There's a ground for comparison. There's a ground now. The GDP was Nigeria was number one.
Anyway, good afternoon, Mr. Souls. A man that knows his job. Please, Buhari's death is an old story. And for the former aide to say he would have died long ago if we use Nigerian hospital, shame on all of them. If those presidents in London have been playing with their own healthcare like they are doing here in Nigeria, where will he have run to? Nonsense words of him. Mommy Sam from Ayobo. Thank you very much, Mommy Sam. Greetings to you all. Mr. Nnamdi Kanu said that time after time, 2 years of Buhari out of office, that his death will be announced. So it was announced. God's son from Lagos. Okay, Tinubu. Nnamdi Kanu have said that apparently, I don't know, we'll have to confirm that, said that Buhari is there to be announced 2 years after he leaves office. I'm hearing that for the first time.
Myself.
Yeah, if Buhari in mortuary scenes, I just ask, please, I need answers. Gordon from Festac. Okay, I don't understand that question. Solomon, Buhari is a disaster to this nation. It is a threat, propaganda and lies that brought Jonathan down. Let Nigeria change their constitution and let every regime govern themselves. Vincent, aka Botwai from Mushin. Well, Jonathan should have how do I call it? Should have counter those propaganda. Look, it's the same thing I'm saying with look at the way APC tackles every opposition message. It's putting PDP and the other opposition parties to shame. APC have a very, very good, will I say, attacking strategy. Whenever APC put down a message, APC spokespersons respond immediately. I wish the opposition can do that. Jonathan did not do that, and that was his downfall. Jonathan was very lackadaisical in his government. He was, because at the point there was because his wife was making more name than him.
No, the thing is,
Madam PP was winning everywhere.
The problem was this: Jonathan was very, very. He believed and relied on in the north to help him. So he was pleasing the north. He was continuously pleasing the north.
We can't keep putting all the blames to APC propaganda. I mean, we have NTA there. The government of
how many people watch NTA in Nigeria?
We also have AIT. AIT was sorry. I'm not supposed to mention stations here, but the point I'm trying to make is they should have machineries at their disposal. APC used the same machineries, the same social media we're talking about. APC used the same social media. Why didn't Jonathan?
How many times did you hear that Jonathan clamped down on broadcast? How many times? Which
was a good thing.
Yes, so he allowed everybody.
Yes.
In this government.
But
how many clampdowns? You are talking democracy, you are not talking something else.
Anyway, let me finalize. Look, there's a lot to talk about here. If a bag of rice was 3,005 before Jonathan came to power and later sold at 7,005 during Jonathan, the worst in Buhari's tenure should have been 15,000 naira.
But now 100,000.
But what we had was alarming 50,000 naira. Please justify. Please let us leave judgment for God. Is he the one that owned heaven, not human? Don't judge Buhari on earth. Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Solomon and Barrister. The only thing I'd remember about Buhari government, he complained for 4 years. APC begged to give him another 4 years. That is now party. Can we imagine APC handing over to themselves? They are still complaining. God go judge APC and their supporters. Chris for Ikorodu. Good afternoon. Oh, this is not okay. This is Lekon. I'm not reading your messages again. We have plenty other messages. Let me read those off because I have to sign off. Solo, don't forget the threat from Buhari that he will make his administration ungovernable. Vincent, aka Botwai from Mushi. Thank you very much. It's time for us to go. We have to go, unfortunately. Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you very much for your time. James Ononiwo, it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Solomon, you know I like coming to whenever you're on the set. I'm always
Thank you very much. He's a legal practitioner and, of course, a current affairs analyst. Thank you so much again for your time and your insight. You made this conversation very, very interesting. And tomorrow is another time. Chioma will be on tomorrow, and I'll be back on Thursday. Today is Tuesday, tomorrow is Wednesday. Yeah. I'll be back on Thursday and on Friday for another edition for Matters. Until next time, we will come away again. Thank you very much. The station is Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. You can subscribe or to all our social media handles at VOP 903 FM. Subscribe to follow us on our social media handles rather, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at VOP 903 FM. Good afternoon, and thank you for listening, or thank you for watching if you're watching us from YouTube. Ciao.